go then. It's a game that, when the fixtures were first out, felt like it might be Liam Manning coming back to face the team he took into the Championship playoffs last season. But life in the Championship moves very quickly. As it is, it's Philippe Clement sat behind us in the stands against Roy Hodgson. And it's Norwich City against Bristol City, and Norwich kick off in their bright yellow shirts, going from left to right as we look at it, and they start with a high launched ball up the middle of the pitch, but Bristol City win it, and Fisher is caught out on halfway, and it's the team in red, Bristol City, who move the ball forward on the left-hand side with Pring, and now Knight just dropping in behind him, and the ball played back towards the Bristol City goalkeeper, Radek Vitek, who's on loan from Manchester United, and has been pretty impressive this season. Already Roy Hodgson has been saying how impressed he's been with the form of the Czech goalkeeper, who's had a good season for Bristol City. He's got the ball at his feet now, plays it out to Morsey, and now Bristol City try to build from the back. They were a team who, at the start of this season, really started brilliantly and looked like they might repeat last season's feat to get into the playoffs, but they faded away badly. Gerhard Struber ended up losing his job after a run of 1 win in 9, but his former team building on the left-hand side now with Pring, who's forward from full-back, up towards the edge of the Norwich area, lays it off to Knight, low cross, dragged back to the edge of the penalty. It's Sam Morsey, and he scored for Bristol City inside the opening couple of minutes. The former Ipswich player goes off and celebrates in front of the 2,000 Norwich City supporters. He caught it nicely, and a week after losing the East Anglian derby, Norwich City have seen a former Ipswich favourite score against them at Ashton Gate. Norwich City 0, Bristol City 1.
Norwich City was so passive in the whole build-up. I mean, we've only been going just over a minute, and nobody laid a finger on a Bristol City player, and they had comfortable possession. And the ball broke to the edge of the box, and what a strike from the edge of the box. So he struck it like an arrow into the bottom left-hand corner, and Norwich, I'm not sure Norwich City players touched the ball yet.
Well, that is a huge blow for Norwich, but you're right, there's a real argument going on now between Cordoba and Maatsen. It's quite easy for Bristol City to get the ball forward there and manoeuvre it into the Norwich penalty area, wasn't it? That's
right, actually my mistake. Norwich City had the ball from the kick-off, but obviously surrendered possession quite early. But yeah, it was just so easy, and there's so much space on the edge, and you could see as soon as it broke to him on the edge of the box, Sam Morsey, he was just going to strike it, and he had no one in front of him to block it, and it's gone into the back of the net.
Well, 4 years as an Ipswich player. He left them at the end of last season and went to play in Kuwait, but it went very badly out there for him. He only played 3 games in Kuwait, had his contract cancelled, joined Bristol City in January, and that's his first goal for the club, and it's fair to say that he hasn't forgotten the spell he had in East Anglia, because he couldn't wait to go over and celebrate in front of the Norwich City supporters. It was at that end of the ground away to our left, and what a blow that is for those fans who've made a long trip, 2,000 of them here. They weren't really getting going. Their team a goal down. Ryan Gary, one of the Norwich assistant coaches, is visible in the technical area on the side of the pitch, and has got to somehow work out a way of getting Norwich back into the game. Well, I made that about 1 minute and 4 seconds on the clock when that ball hit the back of the Norwich net from Sam Morsey. What a dreadful start for the Canaries, but plenty of time left to build a way back into this one. Here's Harry Darling. Rory McConville fit enough to be on the bench, but Darling keeping his place. Cordoba plays it up towards Liam Gibbs, the Norwich left back today. Gibbs tackled by Morsey, goal scorer in the early part of this game. McLean has nicked it on halfway, plays the ball forward. Schwartau will chase it, but it's going to go through to the goalkeeper, Vitek, in the Bristol City goal. We mentioned Liam Gibbs playing out of position at left back. Important to mention that the goal didn't come down his side, did it? It was actually the right-hand side for Norwich, where Kellen Fisher is, where you would have thought Norwich ought to be better stopped, but they just didn't deal with it. It was a lacklustre start.
No, that's right. I mean, Kellen Fisher he got out jumped earlier on in the move, and then it just progressed on this right-hand side. But just going back to the full-back situation, I was just thinking about it. It makes more sense that Kellen Fisher does play right back and Liam Giggs left back, in the fact that they've only got one player playing out of position, whereas if they play it the other way around, they've got 2 players playing out of position. So it'll be interesting to see how Liam Gibbs does sort of suit that left back role today.
Left back been a real problem for Norwich this season. Cresceni and Mahovo have had a series of injury problems. Jeffrey Schlupp, who they signed in the summer, has been out since November, although he is here with the squad today, so we might see him before the end of the season. And Harry Maatsen, who got on loan from Manchester United, got injured as well. Norwich trying to recover from that early shock of going a goal down at Ashton Gate. Magoma playing the ball infield here to Kenny McLean from deep. McLean's got all the Bristol City players in front of him, back defending. Tries to play the ball into the penalty area. Magoma runs away from it though, didn't read that at all. And goes behind for a goal kick. So Bristol City lead 1-0. Bristol City 1, Norwich City 0 already here on BBC Radio Norfolk. Really poor start from the Canaries. Clearly losing these East Anglian derby last Saturday was a huge blow, but this is an opportunity for them to restore a bit of pride, get back to winning ways as we head towards the end of the season. The penultimate away game of the season. Norwich have got home games to come over the next week against Derby on Tuesday and Swansea next Saturday, and that's it as far as Norwich City at Carrow Road is concerned this season. At least the men's team. The women's team have got a game against Cambridge United next Sunday, and then there's an away game for the men at Hull in 2 weeks' time, and that is it as far as the Norwich City Championship campaign is. But they're a goal down here against the Robins of Bristol City, with their bright red shirts and white shorts and red socks. The ball is back with Myler, the defender. They signed in the last transfer window, the Swede. Norwich have won it back on halfway with a mixture of Cordoba and McLean, and in the end Cordoba plays the ball towards the left hand side, and Liam Gibbs. Norwich are away from home. Got the 5th best away record in the Championship, Norwich. It's been a very unusual season for Norwich in that more of their points have come on the road than at home. Here's Cordoba on halfway, played up towards Magoma, helped on by Magoma, and Norwich now building with Gibbs. Nice pass from Gibbs. He's picked out Schwartau in the Bristol City penalty area to the right of goal. His shot is blocked. It runs free in the penalty area. Schwartau gets another block in. Bristol City struggling to deal with this. Gibbs picks it up on the left-hand side, level with the penalty area, on the attack for Norwich City. Sykes sees him away from danger, but Norwich still have it. Cordoba picks it up from deep, lays it off to Kenny McLean. Norwich, after a really poor start, now waking up and looking for an equaliser. McLean slaloming through the challenges. The ball breaks 20 yards out. Norwich then lose it, but it's nicked back brilliantly by Fisher. Comes to Schwartau on the edge of the penalty area. Plenty of red shirts back here, protecting this 1-goal lead. Here's Fisher on the right-hand side. Gives it to Schwartau in the channel. To Magoma. Schwartau continues his run. Good link up. Schwartau digs out the cross. It's headed up and away by one of the Bristol City defenders. Fisher picks it up again on the right-hand side. Tees up Magoma, corner of the penalty area, cuts in. Lovely ball into the box. Ali Ahmed flashes it across, and it's landed at the feet of Sykes, the Bristol City winger, and they get it away. But Norwich now really have come to the party here. Cordoba just has his heels caught and wins a free kick just inside the Bristol City half. That was a really good sustained spell of pressure from Norwich, but there wasn't quite the end product when it mattered.
No, that's right. It's pleasing for the Norwich City fans who have obviously made a huge journey across the country today to see a reaction. You know, when you do go a goal down, you need a reaction, especially early on like that. But going back to the goal, the manager, particularly the defensive unit, will be so disappointed, because I'm sure it's one of the last things that's said in the changing room is, you know, stay solid, don't concede, and we'll ease away into the game. But obviously they've gone 1-0 down early, but it's good to see a reaction. And had
McLean to Magoma into the penalty area, poor pass. Torre had made the run, but Magoma played it 5 yards or so too far in front of him, and it goes behind for a goal kick.
Yes, they've just had some sustained pressure a little bit, but you know, no clear-cut chances. But there's been some shots, there's been some ricochets, and they've managed to keep Bristol City in their defensive third. So a nice recovery, well, a nice reaction from Norwich City.
Mladen Kovacevic has actually only conceded 10 goals before today in his last 14 league games, so it isn't as if Norwich City have been leaking goals. But the way they started this game, but very uncharacteristic. They've become much more difficult to play against under Philippe Clement. In the first part of the season, they were letting in lots and lots of soft goals like that, and they didn't look difficult to play against. But we haven't seen that sort of thing from them at all under Philippe Clement, really. He's looking to avoid a second straight defeat, and that hasn't happened since he took the job in November. But there's plenty of time to try and get back into it, and Norwich now do look like they might, because McLean finds Fisher. Here's Magoma holding off the challenges, but then can't pick out Mohamed Toure on the edge of the penalty area, and it's brought away by Bristol City. Magoma working hard though to win it off Knight, high up the pitch. Then he goes forward, and Borges barges him to the floor, and he's apparently got the ball, but he only got the ball after he pushed Magoma over, so it's not much of an argument, is it?
No, not at all. I mean, it's a blatant foul, and it's a really good position for Norwich to put a good ball in the box. But it's really pleasing that every time Norwich lose the ball now, they get after the Bristol City players, because I was quite critical on the goal situation, that nobody really laid a finger on the Bristol City players when they're in possession. So it's good that they're getting after the ball and getting the ball back quickly now.
It does seem to have stirred Norwich into life a little bit, that, doesn't it? That really poor goal to give away. Jay Wilson, who's watching the game with us there, is quite right. Ever since then, whenever Bristol City have had it in their own half, Norwich have pressed really well, and 2 or 3 times have won it high up the pitch. They've now got this free kick. At the 10th minute, 1-0 down. McLean to take it from the right-hand side with his left foot. He'll swing in towards the Bristol City penalty area as Norwich pursue an equaliser. Curled towards the far side of the box, headed up in the air by a Bristol City defender. Ali Ahmed tries to head it back into the box, but it's broken for the goal scorer Morsey, and there's a counter-attack on here for Bristol City, but it's a really poor pass from Morsey, and it's a poor pass because who's being dragged back, and so he gets a free kick. And now Norwich have got an injury concern because there's a player down. Ali Ahmed, I think it is pulled up on the edge of the Bristol City penalty area as that move was unfolding, and he's now appealing to the official that he doesn't need the physios to come on, but he doesn't look at all comfortable. I don't want to misdiagnose this one. The physios have come on and they're now trying to chase after Ali Ahmed, but Ahmed is desperate not to receive treatment, but he doesn't look in a great way at all here, does he?
He doesn't. It's a strange one because it was an aerial challenge that he's gone up, and I actually thought it clashed heads, but he's gone down, and it might just be a dead leg or something like that that's just hindering his movement at the moment, but he's gone back down under the instructions of the physios, so it'll be interesting to see what comes of this.
Quite a comical situation there with the two Norwich physios ran onto the pitch and Ali Ahmed sort of set off and tried to escape them, but he clearly isn't moving very well. I hope it's not a hamstring problem, but he was sort of feeling around that part of his leg, wasn't he, initially? Yeah,
I think it was more impact from, obviously it's quite difficult to see, but I think it might have been an impact one that he's just got a knot, or maybe twisted his knee, but dead leg was the obvious one for me because he's got up and tried to sort of run it off, and it's almost done him a little bit of a favour, the physios telling him to get back down, because the Bristol City fans would be on his back for feigning injuries if he just got up and started jogging again. So it'll be interesting to see what's happening. He's on his back on his feet now. So
yeah, hopefully he'll be okay, Ali Ahmed. He'll have to go off having had a bit of treatment, but it's given Norwich a bit of a chance to take stock. 11 minutes in, they're 1-0 down at Ashton Gate. Sam Morsy, the Egyptian international, striking inside the first couple of minutes. A really poor start to the game from Norwich City. They have picked up since, though, haven't they, Shane? The one thing, you never want to concede an early goal, but the one thing about conceding an early goal is you've got plenty of time to put it right.
Well, that's right. Now, it's good to have a reaction, but sometimes you don't want to have to react to a negative like that. So, although they've reacted to it, I'm sure they'd rather have started the game as they have done, but without the goal.
Bristol City take the free kick. Twine bursts beyond the Norwich City backline, catches up with the ball, and the flag stays down. It then collides with Liam Gibbs, goes down, but Norwich are allowed to play on with the ball. Mo Toure, Ahmed's off the pitch at the moment, so when Toure looked to the left wing, there wasn't really anybody there, and he's given possession away, and Bristol City have it back on halfway, leading as they do by that early goal to nil. Norwich want to get Ali Ahmed back on the pitch, but the pass being sprayed now by Morsy towards the left-hand side. Bristol City had a player in Emil Rees onto it. He was tackled by Fisher. Fisher then got the ball stuck under his feet, and the ball runs away for a throw-in. Big day in the Championship relegation battle. West Brom have gone a goal up at Preston, and that's a huge goal for West Brom because they've been dragged further back into trouble. Don't forget, they've got a possibility of a points deduction hanging over them. But earlier, Leicester lost 1-0 at Portsmouth, and that puts Leicester on the brink of relegation to League One 10 years after they won the Premier League. Long throw-in coming up for Bristol City, who lead 1-0. Emil Rees launches it into the box. Cordoba gets his head to it, and it runs towards the edge of the penalty area, where Morsy lays it off nicely. Twine rolls it into the penalty area, to the right of goal now. Bristol City attacking with McCrory. It's blocked. Cross that eventually comes in from that right-hand side. Norwich have let it bounce in the box here. Comes to Rees. Left corner of the penalty area for Bristol City. Curling effort from Rees, beaten away by the goalkeeper. It's fallen for Morsy again. This time he takes a touch and plays it towards the right edge of the box. And Sykes, who takes on Gibbs, beats Gibbs, crosses. Fisher wins an important header in his own 6-yard box, and Norwich should get it away now with Ali Ahmed, who's back on the pitch. But a real good spell of pressure there from Bristol City. Norwich, though, have got a chance to counter if they can get the passes right here. Schwartau, though, tried to send it through the middle and it was intercepted. McLean senses an opportunity. That's a lunging challenge from Morsy on Ahmed, who's down again. Referee was happy with it, though. Norwich have played on. They've played it up to Toure, left channel here. He's got past Isla, the defender, tries a cross from the left-hand side. It's charged down, and Bristol City should do. He's back up again, is Ali Ahmed, but that looked like a bit of a late lunging effort and challenge there from Morsy. We don't have the benefit of replays here, but I don't know what you made of it, Joe.
It looked a clumsy one. It was one that I was hoping that Ali Ahmed was going to go in a bit more full-blooded than that, because I could see it coming. Morsy's not going to pull out of that, and he's left his foot in there, but I don't think it was a foul, but it's just that he knew what he was doing. It's one of those that you're going to leave something on someone, and I think that's what Sam Morsy knew what he was doing there. 1-0
to Bristol City. Norwich building, left-hand side with McLean. Magoma's found a useful pocket of space here, sends the ball low into the penalty area. Lots of Bristol City players back though, and they cut it out. Darling gets his head to it on halfway, then Fisher slips, and as he does so, it allows Jason Knight to escape with the ball. He lets the left-back Pring take over. Forward he comes, thinks about an early cross. He's halfway inside the Norwich half. Delightfully scoops it back here to Jason Knight, the skipper. And now Bristol City protecting the ball and going back into their own half with Neto Borges here, who's on loan from Middlesbrough. Borges won at Carrow Road earlier this season as a Middlesbrough player and then a Bristol City player. He won at Carrow Road twice this season, Borges, before any Norwich player had won at all. That's how badly Norwich started the season at home, but happily things have turned since. Although they're 1-0 down here at Ashton Gate. Here's Morsey, 10 yards or so inside his own half. We've been playing for 15 minutes on BBC Radio Norfolk. Now Isla. McLean senses a chance, nicks it back for Norwich on halfway. Gets away from Mark Sykes, plays it up now towards Magoma, who's made a burst into the penalty area, but too much on the pass from McLean, and through it goes to the goalkeeper. They're getting much better at winning the ball back, Norwich, aren't they, in good areas?
That's right, they're reading the ball in vital areas of the pitch, and Kenny McLean has just shown us a really good example of that. You know, been on the front foot, nicking the ball.
And Morsey plays the ball over the top. Rees is not offside. Yes, he is offside. The flag didn't go up straight away, and Kovacevic had to come a long way from his goal and get to the ball first, but eventually Emil Rees, 12 goals this season for the Dane. He was flagged offside. Norwich City, a goal down at Bristol City. They've won 4 of their last 7 matches, Norwich City. And, they've had a really impressive run away from home. They've only lost since the turn of the year away at Middlesbrough, Southampton and Premier League Leeds in the FA Cup. They're the only grounds away from home which Norwich have lost at in 2026. Gibbs, nice touch to the left-hand side, releases Ali Ahmed, who's on the fly here, corner of the penalty area. Ahmed works it back towards the edge of the box. Magoma's touch takes it away from Maatsen, but McLean hits one from distance and the goalkeeper beats it away, and it goes behind for a corner. Cracking effort from Kenny McLean. Good build-up from Norwich. Just a shame Magoma got in Maatsen's way.
Yeah, it was a fantastic strike. I mean, it was easy for the goalkeeper, really. It was straight at him, but he struck the ball really well. Great build-up as well. The ball's coming to Liam Gibbs, who's played the ball around the corner into Ali Ahmed, and it's just fallen nicely to Kenny McLean, who's set his sights, struck it, and got a really good shot on target, and now Norwich City have got a corner.
Now, one of the frustrations of Derby Day last Saturday was Norwich won 13 corners against Ipswich, but never really looked like scoring from any of them. So I would imagine that set pieces have been worked on at the training ground this week. They're 1-0 down. It's the first corner of the game, and Schwartau has gone over to take it with his right foot from the left-hand side. McLean is standing right on the goalkeeper's toes, having tested him a moment ago. Toure is also on the goal line, being marked by Sam Morsey. The referee's got a close eye for any pushing and shoving in the goal mouth, and Schwartau knocks it short. And now it's played back towards Kellen Fisher, 25 yards out. He's going to hit a shot that the goalkeeper this time does catch straight at him. But so was the last one from McLean, and he beat that one away. So you never quite know with this goalkeeper, but he's had a really good season, Vitek. And he bowls the ball over to the left wing, finds Twine. And Bristol City now look to try and turn defence into attack quickly. Twine with a searching ball towards the right wing. Sykes has latched onto it here. A little bit slow to bring it under control, but when he does, he takes on Ali Ahmed. Ahmed then checks him. And it is a free kick to Bristol City on the right-hand side, taken quickly by Sykes to the goal scorer, Sam Morsey. Morsey lays it off to Randall, his midfield partner. Now Pring will give it to Knight on the left-hand side. Knight to Pring, who is on the left wing, level with the penalty area. Tackle made by Schwartau. It goes towards the corner flag. Both players go down, and the throw-in will go Bristol City's way. They've taken it already. They're on the attack here. Roy Hodgson's team looking for a second goal. McLean tries to cut the ball out, slices it behind, and now the Norwich City defence will be tested for the first time by a Bristol City corner. Bristol City unbeaten in the 3 games under Roy Hodgson so far, so although it seemed a bit of a strange appointment, it seems to have had some sort of impact on their season.
Well, that's right. I mean, you know, 3 games in his tenure, and he's not got many games left, but he's obviously doing some good things, but all that experience is paying off by the looks of it at the moment.
78 years old, and watching from the side of the pitch here, sitting in the front row of the dugout, next to Craig Fleming, I think, former Norwich City player. Corner for Bristol City, comes in from the left-hand side, headed away firmly by Cordoba. Pring lays it off though, and it comes back to Cameron Pring, still inside the Norwich half. Norwich trying to make sure they're not sitting too deep here, but Morsey's got the chance for Bristol City to find Borges. Now to the left-hand side it goes, and eventually back to Sam Morsey, as in the end dispossessed by Maatsen. It breaks for Magoma. Norwich are on the attack here with Magoma, plays into the path of Mo Toure, who scampers into the penalty area for Norwich City, gets closed down, and the ball goes behind for a goal kick. Toure stayed down. It wasn't a foul, it was just a strong shoulder-to-shoulder challenge from Cameron Pring, preventing Toure from getting a shot at goal. And I think in that situation he was just stronger than Toure, wasn't he?
Yes, I think the defender's just come across. He's given him a little nudge at the perfect time, really, because I think he was just about to draw his foot back to shoot. Has given him a little nudge, he's gone over. It's not a penalty, and we're back playing again.
Toure got that brilliant hat-trick at Oxford recently when Norwich City were really in form, taking points off all the teams around them as they moved up the table. Had that injury since, so he's levelled out a little bit. He had that incredible goals to game ratio at the start of his Norwich career. Still 5 in 8, which isn't bad, is it? Considering he's had quite a big injury as well, but he wasn't able to quite escape the attention of the Bristol City defence on that occasion. 1-0 to Bristol City. Knight for the home side, plays it out to the right-hand side. McCrory charges onto it. He's level with the Norwich penalty area, plays it into the box, and Sykes to the right of goal tries to stand it up in the penalty area. There's a slip from a defender. Twine has the shot. It is blocked in the 6-yard box. Fisher slipped over. Now an offside flag goes up. Fisher slipped over there, and that allowed Scott Twine the space about 7 yards out. And when he sent the shot in, it was a really important block from one of the other Norwich defenders in the 6-yard box there.
Well, that's the second time that Kellen Fisher's actually slipped over, so I don't know whether he's got the wrong studs on, but he slipped at a vital time, because I think if he hadn't slipped, he would have just headed the ball clear, but he slipped over. It's fallen out into the Bristol City player's path, and I think he'll be really, really disappointed he hasn't scored. Yeah, that was a real chance. Now the referee, Ruben Ricardo, has come across towards the side of the pitch here to chat to his assistant. It looks like they've got some sort of issue with his watch, or the technology there. He's got a watch on each wrist. I suppose one is to keep time and the other is probably the goal line technology, and one of those has obviously run out of batteries or wasn't left on charge overnight, and so he's had to have a new watch put on. That's happening now. Norwich a goal down, very fortunate not to be 2 down. You mentioned Kellen Fisher slipping. It's Ashton Gate ground, which is a wonderful stadium now. 3 sides of the ground, absolutely terrific, bowl-like, and then you've got one stand on its own, the Mateo stand to our left-hand side where the Norwich fans are. It hosted Premiership Rugby last night. Bristol Bears beat Gloucester 53-12 on this pitch last night. You can see the faded rugby markings, but I don't think there's any real problem with the surface, is there? I think it's more Kellen Fisher's footwear than it is the surface that's causing him the issues. Yes, no, the surface looks quite good actually from up here, considering they have rugby on here. We have a fair bit of rain down here in the southwest, but I think it's something that, well, if he's not got the wrong footwear on, he'll certainly need to change them at half-time, if not before. Yeah, it's a couple of times he slipped, and that was nearly a vital slip there that could have given Bristol City a second goal. As it is, the Robins lead the Canaries 1-0, and we've been playing for 22 minutes with BBC Radio Norfolk. Still 0-0 at the Walks in that huge game for Kings Lynn Town today as well. Ali Ahmed finds Magoma on the left-hand side as Norwich tentatively build another attack. It comes to Ali Ahmed, halfway inside the Bristol City half. He tries to work it towards the right-hand side. Pring is the danger, heads it out of play before it could get to Schwartau, but Norwich have advanced. We've got a throw in here high up the pitch, taken by Fisher, back to Kenny McLean. McLean infield to Pelle Madsen, who Norwich might look to. 3 of Norwich's last 4 goals have come from Pelle Madsen. Here's McLean on the right-hand side. Plays it infield to Madsen. Madsen now delivers long into the penalty area. Ahmed round the back will take a touch in the box and then shoots, but he screwed it wide. Really good pass from Madsen. Great first touch from Ali Ahmed, and then as it sat up in front of him from the angle, it didn't quite get hold of it, did he? That was a great pass from Pelle Madsen, and you could always see the Bristol City player was struggling. It was going to go over his head, and sadly Ali Ahmed's touch, it just wouldn't drop for him, and he just sliced it, and it's gone out harmlessly for a goal kick. Well, now the goalkeeper slipped, Vitek, as he kicked that ball upfield, but it didn't take anything out of the kick. It's ended up going out for a throw-in for Norwich deep in their half, but maybe the surface is a little bit more difficult than it looks from all the way up here at Ashton Gate. Southampton, all-conquering Southampton, have just gone a goal down at Swansea. Southampton were pushing for the playoffs a few weeks ago. They've been so good that they're now in the mix for automatic promotion. They're a goal down to the Swans. Here it's 1-0. Bristol City leading Norwich by a goal to 0. Norwich looking to avoid a second defeat in a row in the league. Not happen at all under Philippe Clement. Here's Madsen coming through the midfield, finding Fisher on the right-hand side. Schwartau in front of him. Fisher plays it back towards Harry Darling on halfway. And now McLean's just parked himself in between the 2 Norwich centre-backs. Every Bristol City player back inside their own half, which means McLean can advance before finding Madsen. One touch up to Toure with his back to goal, but again Toure is dealt with fairly comfortably by the Bristol City defence, and the home team have got the ball back in the sunshine at Ashton Gate. Back to Pring, and now Toure closes down Neto Borges, but the defender escapes him, and it's played up towards halfway. A heavy touch from Sykes, he's given it away to Norwich here. Magoma looking for Toure. Norwich not in control of it really. It's bounced loose. Schwartau working hard high up the pitch, but wasn't able to take possession, and Bristol City clear it away. Norwich didn't really punish what was a really poor touch from Mark Sykes there. It was. It's a real heavy touch. He's taking it back into the Norwich City players. They just haven't made the most of it.
Played long by Bristol City, and it'll be swept up by Corder. But you saw Mo Touré early in his Norwich career, that explosive hat-trick against Oxford. He's been injured since, and if you compare him today to him at Oxford, it doesn't look quite like the same player. He's not firing in all cylinders, is he, at the moment?
No, admittedly that day he got an early goal, I think, and it sort of evolved from there, so to speak. But at the moment he's not quite as sharp as he looks, and maybe he's coming back to fitness. They haven't really worked the ball well enough to get him into spaces to run in behind the back four of Bristol City, but we're finding it quite difficult at the moment because Bristol City are literally camping in a defensive third and going, well, actually Norwich can't break us down, and Norwich are struggling to do that at the moment.
McLean sweeps the ball from the left wing to the right wing. Schwartau does well to keep it in play, works it back here towards Harry Darling. Bristol City, you're right, they've absolutely parked the bus here, protecting this one-goal lead. They've got everybody back behind the ball. Here's Ali Ahmed, plays it into the penalty area, but there's so many players back, it's easily clear. Norwich are going to have to come up with something different here, because just as in the East Anglian derby last Saturday, Norwich have got a goal down relatively early, and that's given the opposition something to hang on to. McLean trying to play it forward, and then to throw in. I thought it was going to go out for throw, and actually hasn't. McCrory has to play it back to his goalkeeper Vitek, and that's not such a good kick from Vitek. He's, in rugby terms, kicked it into touch, but it's going to be a throw in for Norwich over on the far side. And we've got a second ball on the pitch here. Hull are looking to cement the playoff place, and they lead 1-0 against Birmingham. Norwich's final away game in 2 weeks' time will be at Hull City. 1-0 down here at Bristol City at the moment, though. McLean trying to pick a way forward. He's found Ali Ahmed on the left-hand side. Matson's found a bit of room, 30 yards out. Curling ball towards the penalty area, but it's a poor one, and it drifts away for a throw-in. Norwich have got the same problem now that they had against Ipswich, Jay. They're playing against a team that have something to hold on to, and at the minute, they're hanging on to it pretty comfortably.
Yes, Norwich haven't really created any clear-cut chances, and they're finding it difficult to break down this Bristol City rearguard, and it's going to take a little bit of invention, maybe a quicker ball that goes into the box to get some on-running attackers coming in to head the ball into the net. But at the moment, they're just not finding that space in behind, and Bristol City look relatively comfortable at the moment.
Interested to know what Philip Clement is making of it. He's watching, at least he was watching at the start of the game from behind us at the back of this stand. Let me just turn around and see if I can still see it. Yeah, he still stood there. Difficult to have eyes on him all the time because he's right behind us at the back of this stand. But interesting to see what he's made of this one. We'll talk to him after the game, of course, and I think he can go down at half-time and talk to the team. McLean slipped, he's lost possession. Here comes Sykes for Bristol City, laying the ball off to McCrory on the right-hand side. Bristol City now are committing players forward, but Ali Ahmed does brilliantly to win the challenge there. Wanted to keep it in and go on the attack, but it's going to be a throw-in. It's gone Bristol City's way. Ali Ahmed's pleading that the throw-in should have gone his way, but I think he just did well to deal with the situation there, didn't he? Throw-in or not.
Yes, I thought he didn't get a touch there, and I thought it was a Norwich City throw, but the referees obviously thought otherwise.
1-0 to Bristol City, if you're just joining us on BBC Radio Norfolk. The goal scorer, Sam Morsey, once of Ipswich Town. Inside the second minute, plays the ball all the way back to his goalkeeper, Vitek. And here's Nato Borges now. Borges is enough to Morsey. And Bristol City just happy to hold on to possession at the moment. They've got this lead to protect. They move the ball into Norwich territory, but Norwich have got the red shirts well marked up, so it has to go back into the Bristol City half. I think there's a bit of frustration building around Ashton Gate, not this afternoon necessarily, but the fact that having got in the playoffs last season, haven't really pushed on. That the chairman here, Steve Lansdowne, is coming under a bit of pressure for not taking a risk, really, not spending the money in the transfer windows to replace some of the incredible talent they've developed here over the years. Alex Scott, Antoine Semenyo, there's been some incredible players have come through the ranks at Bristol City in recent seasons and have got to the playoffs, but there is just a little bit of frustration from the home fans that the handbrake seems to be on in terms of the club really pushing for the Premier League. Is Pring coming forward on the left-hand side, gets tackled eventually by Matson, who goes down, and that allows Bristol City a chance to get the ball back. Then Fisher chops Knight to the floor, and it's a free kick to Bristol City, which they've taken quickly. Twine, 35 yards out, plays it to the right-hand side. McCrory's arriving unmarked, puts the cross towards the far post. Rees is up, challenged by Fisher, who does enough, and Norwich should clear it away here, but Schwartau has lost it. Too close to his own penalty area for comfort. Knight tees up Randall on this left-hand side, right foot, chance to curl the ball into the penalty area, easy for Kovacevic to come and get. Leeds United are 2-0 up against Wolves in the Premier League as the ball is released quickly by Kovacevic and Touré chases it, but Bristol City have swept up and got it back to their goalkeeper. That would take Leeds much closer to Premier League safety and would condemn Wolves to the drop. It's been coming for a long time, but they would be officially relegated today if it stays like that. Here, 1-0 to Bristol City. Kovacic comes out to the right back position and finds Kellen Fisher. He plays it infield to Pelle Madsen. Urged on, he's got 2,000 Norwich fans behind him at the moment. Pelle Madsen. And they want him to move the ball quickly into the other half of the field. It's Liam Gibbs, the standing left back for Norwich today, gives it back to Pelle Madsen. Madsen to Darling. Darling hands it off to Cordoba. And Bristol City retreated here. Everybody back behind the ball, giving Cordoba the space to find Ali Ahmed on the left-hand side. He engages the fullback McCrory, who fouls him. And Norwich get a free kick on the left-hand side. Just to complete that point about Bristol City and a frustration at the lack of ambition and the lack of money spent at times. I suppose their board would point you in the direction of West Brom and Leicester, who have Sheffield Wednesday, who've spent beyond their means and finished up in huge danger. It's a difficult balancing act in the Championship, isn't it?
Well, that's right. I mean, trying to keep the fans happy, but you've still got to be quite prudent in your business, and it's a real sort of a quiet atmosphere here today. I mean, you expect, especially being 1-0 up, Bristol City, they're a very subdued crowd here, and I don't know whether that's just because it's a fixture that's the end of the season and the season's fizzling out or not, but it could be because they haven't invested, like you say, Chris.
McLean's free kick, cleared by Bristol City, picked up though by Gibbs, who puts it back in the penalty area. Madsen heads the ball wide, but I think he might have been as well to leave it, because Ali Ahmed was racing in behind him, and if Madsen had left it, it was a difficult header for him. I think that might have fell quite nicely for Ali Ahmed.
I thought that was odds on that Ali Ahmed was going to come in and either volley it or diving header at the back post, but Madsen has just flicked it. So whether that's just a lack of communication on Ali Ahmed's part, because it has to come from him to tell Pelle Madsen to leave the ball and leave it for him to go and strike. But sadly it's gone out harmlessly for a Bristol City goal kick.
1-0 to Bristol City, just over half an hour gone. Bristol City now coming forward on the left hand side with Pring, the full-back. Got two Norwich players up against him, so knocks it back to Knight and eventually all the way back to Neto Borges here. Norwich a little bit slow to press him this time, and allows him the room to find Morsey, to Randall, and now it's Knight on the left hand side. Plays it back to Borges. The Swedish defender signed the last transfer. He used to play the MLS and he was sent off playing against Ali Ahmed's Vancouver Whitecaps a couple of years ago. Not for fouling him, that was for a deliberate handball. Here come Bristol City, right hand side, cross into the penalty area. Chance here for Rees, but he couldn't control it. He's just slipped at the vital moment there, and that's let Norwich off again. Bristol City 1 up, and Borough a block from a Scott Twine effort a little while ago, and Rees there being able to keep his feet. Norwich could be in further danger as No Torre is penalised. I don't think Philip Clement's going to be particularly happy with what he's seeing out there, is he? Norwich have not really got going for a sustained period. That's brought Roy Hodgson to the side of the pitch for the first time.
Norwich had a good spell after they conceded the goal, but now Bristol City have sort of weathered that. Well, it wasn't really a storm; it was just a mild breeze, to be honest. And but Bristol City have started to be a bit more confident on the ball, pass the ball about, and they're getting a bit of joy now. And Norwich City is struggling to get the ball back.
Pring, he's raced away from McLean on the left-hand side for Bristol City. He's got deep in Norwich territory. Now he puts the brakes on, plays it infield to Twine. Twine will shift it over towards the right wing and McCrory. Norwich got to get players back here. It's laid off to Morsey. His early goal has really given Bristol City something to hang on to, and now they're looking to add to it. McGovern tries to make a challenge, but McCrory's got the pass away. Breaks now to Randall, who's going to shoot from distance. Goalkeeper down and saves it. The rebound, though, is turned goalwards and eventually scrambled over the line. But the flag is up. Norwich get away with another one there. Randall's shot. Kovacic did well to get to it the first time, but he pushed it straight out in front of him. Rees then got there, and I don't think got enough on it to send it over the line. There's another Bristol City player got a touch inside the 6-yard box. That eventually took it in as he collided with Cordoba, but the flag was up. And Norwich have got to be careful here, Che, because at the moment, the next goal looks more likely that it's going to come against them.
That's right. It's quite interesting, because when the linesman put his flag up, he's almost on the touchline when he's put his flag up, and I'm thinking, who's offside? It was a bit of a scramble, but so much space on the edge of the box for the Bristol City player to strike at Kovacevic's goal. He's got a good save on it, and it's just dropped into a Bristol City player who's put the ball in the net. So it's a let-off for Norwich, and it's really vital that they don't let Bristol City have a sniff for the remaining what have we got? We've got another 11 minutes of this half.
We don't have the monitor in front of us with replays on, so I can't really tell you any more about whether that decision was right or not. There weren't too many complaints from Bristol City, but Harry Darling is now thumping the turf because he was given a very difficult pass by one of his teammates. I think Philippe Clement will be quite looking forward to half-time here. He'll be really frustrated watching this from up in the stands because Norwich have set good standards under Philippe Clement, and it hasn't really been anywhere near it today, has it, so far? They're 1-0 down, haven't really recovered from the shock of that early goal, but they've got a chance here to win it back. McLean and Matson working well together. Here's Magoma, up towards the edge of the penalty area. It's a great run from Magoma, but his shot is blocked, and it runs away and will go for a corner to Norwich City. But Norwich have had their best moments in this game when they've pressed with intensity and when they've nicked the ball high up the pitch.
That's right. I think if they slow the game down, Bristol City just get behind the ball and they put all 11 players literally in their defensive third. I think the biggest joy that Norwich are going to have today is if they nick the ball high up the pitch when Bristol are in possession, and then they go and break, and they've had a couple of half chances. Magoma's strike then was a bit of a half chance, but probably the most promising they've had for the last 15 minutes.
10 minutes to go to half-time. Bristol City 1, Norwich City 0. Norwich corner, right-hand side. Schwartau will deliver in towards the near post. McLean's helped it on! Oh, that was very nearly an own goal. A terrific save from the goalkeeper Vitek, because McLean got the brilliant flick on at the near post, and then I think it was Pring who went to deal with it and ended up turning it back towards his own goal, and Vitek has saved him there. He's turned it over his own crossbar. That was a terrific save, but from his own player.
Yeah, that's right. It's a shame that I think Norwich City have obviously worked on set pieces from what you said, Chris, after last week, is that Kerry McLean's got across the front post, got the flick on, but no Norwich City player was going on the second ball, which would be disappointing.
They try again, another corner from Schwartau. This one's headed away, but it's going to drop nicely for Ahmed on the edge of the penalty area, puts it back in the box. Oh, now there's a Norwich player gone down there, Harry Darling, and he seemed to have Noah Isla, the defender, all over him, but the referee sees nothing wrong with it, and Bristol City get away with that one. Yeah, remember that Norwich winning here a couple of seasons ago under David Wagner when he was under pressure. They were 1-0 down in that game. And then George Tanner, who's on the bench today for Bristol City, scored an own goal, and Norwich went on to win it with a brilliant stoppage time goal from Adam Eder. And I thought that they might be about to get a change of luck there, but it has just built the intensity for Norwich. McLean now finds Schwartau. It's Magoma, right-hand side, corner of the penalty area, tries to play it across, blocked this time by Pring, who cuts that out of the game at the moment. And it's a throw-in for Norwich on the right-hand side. 2-0, Wrexham leads Stoke, so Wrexham looking to pile the pressure on those playoff places just in case any of the top six should drop points. It's a top six that is racing off into the distance now for both Norwich and Bristol City. Playoff ambitions completely fading away this afternoon if they hadn't already. It's McLean on the right-hand side for Norwich City, looking for an equaliser before half-time. Fisher plays it back to Kenny McLean. Again, Bristol City have retreated so that every player in a red shirt is back behind the ball. Cordoba has room to work with as a result. He's used it well to find Ahmed on the left-hand side. Ahmed lays it off to Liam Gibbs. Gibbs crosses from the left-hand side. Toure nearly got there inside the 6-yard box, but it's gone wide. I don't know whether he got a head on it or not, but it wasn't a bad ball in from Liam Gibbs.
It was a great ball in from Liam Gibbs, and I actually thought that Toure should have done a little bit better, but he's got caught underneath it. Couldn't quite get. I think he has glanced it just very, very slightly, but he couldn't quite get off the ground. He's whether that's just fatigue setting in and he can't quite get off the ground or not, I don't know, but his timing wasn't quite there.
No, it looked like he was the favourite. He arrived between the two centre-backs as Gibbs floated that ball in. But there was no telling touch on the ball. He might have got something on it, but it needed a bit of a thunderbolt header rather than a glancing effort, and that's what it got. So still 1-0 to Bristol City, but signs of life from Norwich, although that's a lovely touch from Knight on halfway, and it's released Pring, who tries to thread it through the Norwich defence. Cordoba covers well, sees it back to his goalkeeper. Kovacevic clears it upfield, but he's only picked out Morsey, who in turn has only picked out McLean. Scrappy spell of play, launched forward by Norwich. Toure wasn't able to really to go into battle there, but it's fallen for McLean. Now Magoma, and Norwich City have a chance to break. Magoma to Schwartau on the right-hand side. Schwartau up towards the corner of the penalty area. He's got two Bristol City defenders up against him, beaten the first one and then loses the ball. And Knight should bring it away for Bristol City, and does. Finds Twine, plays it back to Pring. Norwich just not having sufficient creativity in that final third, not enough invention in this Norwich performance at the moment.
They're lacking a little bit of that injection of pace. I mean, Oscar Schwartau just then, if there was that little injection of pace to get the fullback, to beat him and get crosses in the box, but Norwich City are just lacking that at the moment to get beyond the Bristol City back line.
1-0 Bristol City. It's a better spell from Norwich though. McLean tries to help it through the defence. It might have got a flick off a defender though. I think the way the goalkeeper's trying to keep it in, it must have done. It has. Corner has gone Norwich's way. Try to finish this half by finding an equaliser. They've got 6 minutes to go until the interval. They are a goal down. Have been since the second minute of the game. It's only about 64 seconds on the clock when Sam Morsey absolutely blasted it Bristol City into the lead. Now Norwich have to try and hit back. Another corner. Schwartau over to the right-hand side to take it. There's a crowd of players around the penalty spot here. No one this time challenging the goalkeeper. So the corner's going to swing out from Schwartau. He's gone towards the far post. Should be cleared, but it's not really been dealt with. Here's Ali Ahmed, the left corner of the penalty area for Norwich. Still plenty of yellow shirts forward. Ahmed finds Matson with room on the edge of the area. Turned into the box by Matson, but the goalkeeper's going to come and get that in between Cordoba and Torre. And now we've got some pushing and shoving here between Harry Darling and Jason Knight. And I don't know what's kicked that off, because the ball never went near either of those two players, but they hold of each other's shirts, they're pushing and shoving. I think they must have been inspired by the Premiership rugby that was on here last night. It's the sort of thing you see at the breakdown in the rugby, isn't it, that, between those two? What's going on?
I'm not sure, I'm really not sure what happened there. I mean, I don't know if Harry Darling's a little bit disappointed on the previous passage of play when he was hauled over. I mean, it would have been tough to get, you'd be asking a lot to have got a penalty, but maybe still a bit wreathing from that, and there's a little bit off the ball, and the referee's calling them both in to have a chat with them now.
Yeah, there's I would say a grudging handshake and then a pat on the back. Harry Darling, he's fuming at the minute, not just because of that. There was a moment earlier on when he was given a poor pass, I think, from Cordoba, and all he could do was to shank it out of play, and he slammed the turf in frustration. I don't think Harry Darling's enjoying his afternoon particularly at the moment. He's playing for a team that's 1-0 down. Bournemouth 1-0 up at Newcastle in the Premier League. And referee urging calm there between Knight and Darling. Back with Vitek, goalkeeper for Bristol City. Passed out to Borges. Defender, he sets off towards the halfway line. Plays it in field towards Knight. Batson levels out a little bit of retribution on behalf of his teammate. Fouls Knight, and that's a free kick to Bristol City just inside their own half. Basically, I mean, it's easy to say it, Jay, that it does have the feeling of an end-of-season game about it, and you can put it down to that, but we still know Norwich can do better, can't we? And it shouldn't be. Norwich have set such high standards in recent times. You really notice when they don't reach them.
Yeah, it's almost gone back to a little bit of this performances at the beginning of the season. So, you know, from all the hard work that's gone in between since then, it's really disappointing that the performance hasn't been better today. Players look tired to me. Some individuals out there don't look to have that, you know, that sharpness in themselves, and I think it's telling at the moment because Bristol City are keeping possession. When they get the ball back, getting possession and keeping the possession too well, and Norwich City aren't really getting their tackles in, their physical contact on the Bristol City lads, so it's become a little bit easy for Bristol.
Well, I just turned round, and Philip Clement, I don't think he's up there behind us anymore, and it's a long way down to the dressing room, so I wonder if he started the descent down there to get ready for his half-time team talk, which will be coming up in the next 4 or 5 minutes. 1-0, Bristol City lead. Can't put enough for them. Norwich had spells where they've threatened, but really caused enough problems for Roy Hodgson's team. Ball is back with Bristol City. And Pring on the left-hand side. Looking for Knight. They're back towards Randall. McLean's stolen it. This is where Norwich have been better today, winning the ball high up the pitch. Now they lose it though, and then Pelham Fisher slides in and fouls Knight. And it's a free kick. Norwich not quite able to capitalise there, but there's no doubt that Norwich's best moments in this game have been when they have tackled Bristol City defenders and midfielders within 30 yards of their own goal. It's enough to bring Roy Hodgson up to the side of the pitch now. Haven't seen much of him on the side of the pitch there, but he's a word with some of his defenders there about perhaps how much time they're spending on possession, how much of an opportunity they're giving Norwich to win the ball back. I assume that's what it's about. Gibbs with a loose header at the back there for Norwich. Bristol City picked it up, another slip, this time from McCrory. He's pulled up actually, but the ball played forward by Bristol City. Cleared it initially by Norwich, then McGovern needs to fight for it here. McLean heads it down towards Schwartau on the right-hand side. Bristol City just getting there first, and then the ball bounces out of play off Knight for a throw-in to Norwich. We've got a minute or so to go, plus stoppage time until half-time. Don't forget Canary Call after the game. Shay will be taking the calls alongside Rob Butler. Canary Call watch along as well. And then we'll be off to the Walks in National North, where Kings Lynn are in relegation danger. It's their final home game of the season today. And they've just gone a goal down by the looks of it. With details from Nick Bowler a little bit later. Here's Gibbs on the left-hand side for Norwich City. Kings Lynn playing surely today. Need a win really to help them make sure that they are not in relegation danger on that final day, but they are a goal down. Here's Harry Darling. Norwich also a goal down here. Plays it towards the right-hand side. He's picked out Schwartau on the run, level with the penalty area. Tees it for Fisher to play a dangerous cross into the box, headed away. Collected by Gibbs, though, for Norwich City. Now Kenny McLean, 35 yards out. Works it back into the penalty area. Schwartau, great touch to control. Tries to feed it across. It's blocked by Pring and headed clear. And Norwich will have to settle for a throw-in here. They're better when they put a bit more intent in the play, aren't they? When they really up the pace, Norwich.
That's right. If it's too slow, it's very, very easy for Bristol City because they're sitting behind the ball and they're happy to put in this low block. It needs to be an injection of pace physically with the body, but also the ball. And they're getting a little bit of joy, but no end product at the moment.
McLean tees up Fisher. He tries that bit of end product, plays the cross in from the right-hand side, and it drifts out of play. And that sums it up for Norwich, really. They worked hard to get in a good position there, but Fisher's cross was poor, and it's a goal kick. We're going to have 3 minutes of stoppage time, which, of course, we are into already. And Philippe Clement will probably have plenty to say after a first half that he's watched from in the stands. He will be very proud of this record of never having lost 2 matches in a row in the league as Norwich City head coach, and he will be desperate for that to be protected. But at the moment, Norwich, having not scored against Ipswich last Saturday, now played half a game here at Ashton Gate and haven't scored. 1-0 down. McLean for Norwich. Up towards Magoma in the centre circle. Magoma's found very little room available in this first half. Hasn't had the impact on the game that we know he can have when he's at his best. McLean forward to Matson. Comes to Harry Darling on halfway. Darling works it out quickly towards Schwartau on the right-hand side. Helen Fisher has possession. Fisher brings it carefully infield and then lays it back to Kenny McLean, who's dropped between the Norwich centre-backs to find some space. Plays a curling, sweeping pass, and it's beautiful. He's picked out Schwartau on the right wing. Schwartau cuts in towards the penalty area. Now plays it back to Kellen Fisher. To Schwartau again. Fisher's made a great run on the underlap, tries to get the cross in, but gets it out-muscled there by Jason Knight, and then Fisher tries to make it difficult for Knight to clear, and he's got him pinned in by the corner flag. Can Norwich nick it high up the pitch here? The assistant has decided that Schwartau has fouled Pring, and he's given Bristol City a free kick, and Schwartau is not happy with the decision. Neither's Kenny McLean, but again, Norwich, lovely pass from Kenny McLean. They got themselves in a great position and didn't make the most of it.
Yeah, it's a soft one from Oscar Schwartau, and letting Bristol City off the hook. They were in trouble down in this corner, and they giving the free kick away just lets Bristol City just relieve the pressure. Vitek gets the ball out of his feet, and he's going to strike the ball up the pitch. And they'll be disappointed they didn't do better especially with the quality of Kenny McLean's pass earlier on in the move.
It's interesting how much more valuable you can sometimes become as a player when you're not in the team, Shay, because when the East Anglian derby got to half-time last week, a lot of fans were saying, well, Philippe Clement should have started with Toure, should have started with Schwartau, should have started with Magoma, and Norwich should have been more dangerous. He has done today, and actually they haven't looked any more dangerous, have they?
No, they haven't. I mean, they've just had a couple of half chances. They haven't really broken through the Bristol City back four, and they're lacking invention and lacking a little bit of finesse in the final third. So something that, well, after what you said about last week, that personnel has been changed, but there's no end product.
Norwich win a throw in. Again, Magoma's pass towards Schwartau slightly off. Norwich might just about have time to try and take this throw in from level with the Bristol City penalty area. The 3 minutes of stoppage time have just passed, and as Fisher takes the throw in, it is indeed half time. So Philippe Clement has had a frustrating 45 minutes watching from in the stands behind us. He's got a ban from the touchline, but he can go down to the dressing room as far as we understand it, and I think he'll be in there waiting for the team. Bristol City have been out for a good 3 or 4 minutes. I don't know whether they came out early or Norwich came out late. What was your reading of the psychological battle there, Shay?
Yeah, I think the Norwich City players have probably come out late and gone, well, actually, we're going to keep you waiting, and then be right at it from this kickoff. And it's a Bristol City kickoff. I think Norwich City will have to inject a little bit of pace to get the ball back, and show their intent really, really early on in this second half.
Ball's gone back to the Bristol City goalkeeper, Radek Vitek, who plays it forward. Bristol City going from left to right as we look at it, and straight away their striker Emil Rees is racing forward, but he's been tackled by fellow Dane Pelle Matson, and Norwich cleared the ball upfield. That's asking a lot of Mo Toure, who's not going to catch up with that one. Borges gets it back to his goalkeeper. I will remind you of the lineups in a moment, but Norwich going from right to left now in yellow and green, kicking towards the stand where their 2,000 or so supporters are watching. We're hoping for a bit more goalmouth action than we saw from Norwich in the first half as Cordoba chops the ball away. Gets good distance on it, up towards halfway. McLean helps it on. Magoma jumps, lands between him and Borges, and Randall, the midfielder for Bristol City, picks it up and finds Mark Sykes on the right-hand side. Sykes plays the ball in behind the Norwich defence. Rees flagged offside. There wasn't a lot in that. It looked for a moment as if he'd got away from Cordoba, but the flag goes up. Norwich, Kovacevic in goal, Fisher and Gibbs the full-backs, Darling and Cordoba in midfield, in central defence I should say, Matson and McLean in midfield, Schwartau and Ahmed wide, Magoma playing in the number 10 position behind Mo Toure. Gibbs has continued to play at left-back at the start of the second half, with Fisher at right-back. Give you the Bristol City team in a moment, but the pitch bathed in sunshine. Norwich have possession with Harry Darling and now Cordoba. Norwich fans trying to get a rendition of On the Ball City going, an attempt to inspire their team back into this game. If you weren't with us in the first half, Sam Morsey, the former Ipswich player, put Bristol City in front in only the second minute, which really struggled to create very many chances in the search of an equaliser. The closest they came, actually, an own goal almost from Cameron Pring that the Bristol City goalkeeper had to save. But Norwich have moved it forward well here to Ali Ahmed. Here's Magoma in a good position, 30 yards from goal, finds Gibbs on the left-hand side. Magoma's continued his run outside Gibbs. He will cross from the left and it goes behind off a defender. A bit more movement from the Norwich City attackers. I think that's one of the things that was missing in the first half, that they just couldn't escape the attentions of the Bristol City defence, could they?
No, there was a lot of pass the ball and stand still in the first half, and the evidence straight away is Paris Magoma. The ball's gone into, I think it was Liam Gibbs, and he's made an overlap on the outside. So the intent is there that actually you're going to pass and move this second half.
We're just seeing some Philip Clement watch at the moment, which we'll come back to in a moment. But 1-0 to Bristol City. Corner for Norwich in front of their supporters from the left-hand side. Schwartau plays it in towards Cordoba. It's gone over his head. Darling's got a looping header on it. It lands back towards Schwartau, actually. And Schwartau has managed to play that against Knight, has he? No, the ball had gone out of play. It's a goal kick. So at the moment, I'm just turning around again, Philip Clement has not rejoined the Norwich City video analysts at the back of this stand. I should point out it's a long way up to the back of this stand, so it might be that he just hasn't appeared yet. But I'm not sure where else he might be, whether he's managed to get himself a little bit closer, a different perspective on things, down closer to the side of the pitch. I think the director's box is in the tier below us, so we can't really see it from where we are. But we'll keep you updated. Rob Butler's going to go on Philip Clement watch now. 1-0 to Bristol City, who've got Vitek in goal, McCrory, Ayler, Borges and Pring at the back, Morsey and Randall in midfield, Sykes playing on the right, Knight on the left and Twine behind Emil Rees in attack. Rees has just been bundled over, and Bristol City have a free kick inside the Norwich half. Roy Hodgson, 78-year-old manager, who's beaten Norwich twice as a manager before today, but also lost twice and had a draw as well. Ayler, defender for Bristol City, back to goalkeeper Vitek, who passes the ball out straight to Kenny McLean, who puts it over his head, but over the bar as well. McLean, head and hands there. That was a bit of a gift from the goalkeeper. Gave it straight to McLean. And we know how good Kenny McLean can be, and he just got too much on it, didn't he?
Well, that's the thing. If you want it dropping to anybody in the Norwich City team, it's probably Kenny McLean that you want it dropping to, and his execution wasn't quite right. Wasn't right. It's come to him quite quickly, and I think he'll be a little bit disappointed. You can see from his reaction, he's a little bit disappointed he hasn't made a better effort than that, but promising from Norwich.
Well, this is his 308th game for Norwich, 16 goals, Kenny McLean. The first two of those came in a game against Bristol City at Carrow Road in only his 11th game. And we thought then we've got a midfielder who might be a really prolific goal scorer, and it hasn't quite happened like that, but when he has turned up with goals, they've been well timed for Norwich. He's got a couple this season. That one was a really good opportunity. It did come at him quite quickly. Goalkeeper off his line. He got it over the goalkeeper's head, but too high and over the bar. Kovacevic, the Norwich goalkeeper, passes it out to Harry Darling. Darling has the confidence to play it across his own penalty area to Cordoba. Ryan Gary, one of the Norwich coaching staff, now comes to the side of the pitch to get some instructions across. Cordoba tries to play it up towards Magoma. It's been intercepted by Morsey, who plays it back towards the edge of the Norwich penalty area. Twine's got the better of Harry Darling here, but Darling recovers and gets the block in. McLean wins it back really well to release Kellen Fisher on the charge now from right back. He's over the halfway line, Fisher, and his 99th appearance for Norwich today. Halfway inside the Bristol City half, now comes infield and finds Pella Matson. Matson dragged back straight away there by Sykes. A clear free kick for Norwich City, who are pursuing an equaliser at Ashton Gate. In terms of substitutes warming up, what have we got down below us? Jack Stacey, Errol Mundell-Smith, and I think Matthias Kvistgården. One of the problems with starting Mo Toure, I mean, he's a good player, he's been good for Norwich with his 5 goals so far, but then you haven't got his impact from the bench, have you? Which is where they did against Millwall recently, brought him on at half-time, and he set up 2 goals.
Well, that's right. I mean, at the moment, he certainly doesn't look match fit, so to ask for 90 minutes from him is a little bit of a big, tall order. and is probably better suited. I mean, obviously it's easy in hindsight for him to be on the bench and then have a little bit of an impact later on in the game, but the managers decided to go with him from the beginning.
McLean finds Fartel for the free kick. It's crossed. There's Toure. Keeper saved it, but Toure scores for the rebound. Norwich are level. Quick free kick from McLean. Fartel crosses it in. Toure's header was saved, but he reacted quickest, and he has got Norwich City back on terms. No celebration in front of the supporters. They've taken the ball back to the halfway line. Norwich want to win this game, but they're level, and Toure scored.
Well, that's right, the intent's there. They've straight away retreated to their own half and want the game going again, because they think that they can go and win this. And I'm sure if they continue this second half as they've started the second half, there's no reason why they can't do it. It's a great ball in. Toure's got the first header. Great save from Vitek to start with. I mean, it's almost straight at him, but as a goalkeeper, sometimes you just got to be in the right position, and it's just dropped to Toure, who's put the ball in, and he'll be really pleased with that.
Yeah, well, we were saying he perhaps doesn't look fully fit, but Norwich have managed to get 52 minutes out of him, and thank goodness they have, because he was there. Decent header. The goalkeeper parried, and now Norwich come again. Lovely touch from Magoma, who then slips, and that allows Bristol City to get the ball back. But how this game has changed. 1-1 now. We've seen Kenny McLean put one over the top of an empty net from distance, and now Norwich have scored, and there is suddenly a lot more energy about the Canaries. Ali Ahmed just overruns the ball, but then with Paris Magoma works hard to win it back, and now there's a good noise coming from the away end as they watch Schwartau gallop forward on the right-hand side. Another cross from Schwartau dealt with, and behind it goes. I think this just goes to prove that fatigue wasn't an excuse in the first half, Jay, because having had 45 minutes in their legs, they've suddenly looked like they've got a whole new lease of life, a whole second wind.
And sometimes you need that goal to really give you a lease of life, to get out the opposition. And at the moment, Norwich City are the ones really dominating the game, and you can just tell from the great Norwich City fans behind the goal that they're up for this, and there's no reason why they can't go on and win this game.
Well, they're pushing Norwich, and there's literally some pushing in the penalty area. Pelle Madsen's gone down. I know it's very easy to talk about end-of-season games, and sometimes you get that feeling about it, and we can't dress it up. This isn't a promotion battle or a relegation six-pointer, but I did like Norwich picking the ball up and just taking it back to the halfway line. It wasn't, oh, we scored, we've equalised, let's enjoy the sunshine. It was like, there's a game here to be won, wasn't it? I like seeing that, I have to say.
Yeah, I have to admit, it's just their intent. Let's go and get another one. Why not?
And can they from a corner? Schwartau plays it in. McLean's gone down. Referee waving penalty appeals away. Half-hearted penalty appeals. More from the crowd than the players as well. Here's Magoma on the right-hand side. Forward to McLean. Gives it back to Magoma, who takes it in his stride, but then just runs into Borges. And Bristol City have possession back, deep inside their own half. Norwich are trying to keep them there. And they've given it away, Bristol City. Can Norwich punish them? It's in towards Toure. Can he nick ball past the goalkeeper? Down he goes, Toure. And he's going to be booked for diving. Toure nicked the ball past the goalkeeper, ran behind for what would have been a goal kick, and is going to be a goal kick. The referee, though, ran straight to the scene. He put his hand to his earpiece, so was clearly getting some advice from the assistant referee on the far side. I thought that might mean he was going to point to the spot, but no, he says Toure dived over the top of the goalkeeper, and he has booked the Australian. We haven't got a replay, so...
I think he was looking for it, I have to admit. I thought he was going to tow it past the goalkeeper and go down whatever happens, and I'm not even sure if there was contact, but it's very difficult to see from this position. But yeah, I think he's been rightly booked, to be honest, from my opinion.
Well, he didn't complain much, did he? Which is, I think, is often the clue. He didn't have a lot of teammates backing him up either, did he?
No, and the fans obviously behind the goal as well. There was not an uproar when he got booked or anything. So it's really usually a good sign of whether the referee's got it right or not.
One strange quirk, I think. Norwich haven't had a penalty under Philip Clement yet. I thought that might be the moment when the referee raced over and was putting to his earpiece, but it was because he wanted to show a card to Mo Toure. The ball is with Bristol City on the left-hand side. 1-1 at Ashton Gate, and that Norwich equaliser has just brought the place to life, actually. Suddenly the Bristol City fans feel that their team might need them a little bit as they come forward now in their bright red shirts. It's with Sykes on the right-hand side. Scored the winner at Carrow Road earlier this season when the sides met. Made a habit of scoring against Norwich in recent seasons, Mark Sykes. This time, though, he's played the ball infield. It's picked up by Borges eventually, the defender, who brings it forward out towards the left-hand side. Randall now through the midfield, lays it beyond Darling, but Twine is immediately flagged offside. Flag goes up. Rob's had his binoculars out, and have you spotted him, Rob? You've spotted Philip Clement. He's down in the director's box, which is the tier below us. So I'm not brave enough to lean far enough forward over this wall to see if I can get a look at him, but he's down below us now, Che. It's too far back up there, isn't it? That's the problem.
It sure is. It's a very, very strange viewpoint when you're right at the back of this stand, and I'm not surprised that he's made his way halfway down this stand to get a better viewpoint.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with Ashton Gate, when you get a chance to watch the goals from this game later on, you will see quite how far away from the pitch the TV cameras are, and that's where Philippe Clement was watching from in the first half. Almost in a different postcode to the pitch. 1-1. Norwich have come out, been much better in the second half. Mo Touré's got his 6th goal for the club to get them level. Matson goes in with a challenge. Oh, wins the ball but comes off worse. Norwich, they were playing on because they're on the attack with Touré. Just wanted a little bit too much time on the ball there, Touré. That's allowed Bristol City to steal it. Matson's hobbling, he's back up on his feet. And because Norwich didn't put the ball out, neither would Bristol City, and Pring's made a great run forward onto a long ball, goes down under the challenge of Cordoba, shoulder to shoulder. Referee very quickly waves away the appeals, and no complaints from Bristol City. So again, we talked about players' reactions for the Touré appeal a moment ago, and I think we can again there. Now the game's really come to life. Norwich are attacking. Schwartau to Touré, right corner of the penalty area. Oh, brilliant turn from Touré to get past his man. Tries to cross, it's blocked, it's a corner. This game is so different from the first half, isn't it? It's because Norwich have upped it, and it's forced Bristol City to respond. It's a much better spectacle.
Well, getting that goal back, Bristol City have come out. The Bristol City fans have actually, raising their voices a little bit, because as I say, they were very subdued first half, and going from, a penalty appeal in the Norwich City 18-yard box to a corner up the other end in a few seconds. It's exciting now. And
Norwich's goal came from a set piece. This time it's a corner. Schwartau from the right-hand side. Oh, he's picked out Ali Ahmed on the edge of the box. Ahmed brings a bouncing ball under control, then lays it off to Gibbs. Norwich haven't got the ball in the box yet, but Magoma's got a chance to do so here from the edge of the penalty area. He's going to have a shot, actually. It's deflected, it loops up in the air and is cleared away. But Norwich gather it again. Fisher, can they keep the pressure on? Ali Ahmed, left edge of the penalty area, takes on his man, finds room to get it across, but it's been cleared. It's a Bristol City player who got there first. It was a really congested penalty area, and Ahmed tried to sort of thread it into the box, and that's so difficult when there are so many players in there.
I can see the pass he was trying to play, but he just delayed it that split second. It enabled the Bristol City defender just to clear the ball and relieve the pressure.
Well, it's 1-1, and it's game on. Southampton have an equaliser at Swansea. Southampton looking to get themselves really into automatic promotion contention, and it's 1-1 there now. 1-1 here at Ashton Gate as well. Good second half as Gibbs plays the ball in behind the defence, and I think Touré's going to be onside. Catches up with it by the byline on the left. Touré now works it back to Magoma. Can Magoma get the shot away? No. Referee has now stopped play. But the flag didn't go up. Is it that Touré didn't keep the ball in? He wasn't offside. I think they've decided he didn't keep the ball in, haven't they? Yeah,
it's strange, because Touré's reaction was not a chance that ball's gone out, and the linesman didn't really make an obvious decision, and it seemed to be almost the referee has made the decision for you. Strange one.
And the referee must have been absolutely certain that Touré had overrun the ball. He timed his run perfectly, caught up with it right on the byline. The officials, and they are talking all the time with the earpieces, so it's difficult to know who's made the final decision. They decided Touré had not got that ball in time. Nice header back from McLean to Kovacevic just to take the pressure off his team. 1-1, nearly an hour gone. He's around now. You tend to look down towards the dugout, because if there are fitness concerns over players, they'll sometimes say, right, give us an hour. And I wonder whether that might mean that Norwich are going to make some changes soon, but they probably won't want to, because at the minute they're the team on top. 1-1. Mo Touré's equaliser at the start of the second half. Second bite of the cherry after his first header was saved. Here's McLean for Norwich City. Plays it forward. Much more movement now for Norwich in that final third, and Bristol City panicking with the clearances.
That's right, there just seems to be a bit more of a willingness to run forward, when Norwich City have got the players got the ball, rather than just square 5-10 yard passes, actually run forwards, and it's giving more options on the ball for the player on the ball.
1-1. Cordoba battling, heading the ball down to Matson on halfway. Norwich have really upped it in this second half. Matson plays it out to the right-hand side. Fisher's arriving perfectly, crosses the ball in, it's blocked and it goes behind. So I don't think Bristol City's level has dropped. I just think Norwich have upped it so much. Now Bristol City were pretty comfortable in the first half, and now they're struggling to cope. They're being overrun, aren't they?
Well, Callum Fisher's run just then was an example of what I was just alluding to. Pelle Matson's got the ball in the middle of the park, and just because Callum Fisher's gone, well, actually, I'm going to run forwards and give me the ball, and it's a great pass, and he's forced the corner.
Norwich with Schwartau, whose cross was eventually dispatched by Touré for the equaliser. Schwartau lines this corner up from the right-hand side. 2,000 Norwich fans behind that goal, most of them standing in anticipation of another goal here. As Schwartau plays the corner in. Darling nearly got there, it's been cleared away. Fisher, though, will collect because everybody back for Bristol City means Norwich have got space. Magoma back into the penalty area, headed away again. Harry Darling's so frustrated that nothing's dropping to him in the box. He'll stay forward, though, because here come Norwich again. Ali Ahmed, left wing, takes on Pring, beats him, gets to the byline, then has to drag it back, but he doesn't pick out a yellow shirt, and it's a comfortable clearance for Sykes. But Fisher does so well, senses a chance to get Norwich back on the ball. Gibbs with a curling cross, it's headed straight at the goalkeeper from Harry Darling. Something eventually does come to him, and he can't execute.
We just couldn't quite get enough purchase on it. I mean, it's got it on target and he's managed to glance it, but it was easy for the goalkeeper, in all honesty. But really good play from Norwich City, really good sustained pressure at the moment.
I know he's a defender, Harry Darling. One goal this season, that was way back in August at Portsmouth. You have to go back to the 2020-21 season for the last time he only scored once in a season. He's usually so much more of a reliable supplier of goals, and now Bristol City have gone over the top, and Emil Rees is flagged offside. 2 quick goals for Sheffield United and for Patrick Bamford. They lead Watford 2-0 away from home. What the end of season feel about that one? Right, there is movement. We've got the dugouts on the near side, and there is movement, but it's one of Roy Hodgson's coaching staff calling somebody back to the dugout. But I think they might be about to make a couple of changes, Bristol City, which probably tells you something about the pattern of the second half. It's 1-1. But Norwich have been so much better in this second half. Pelle Matson has it, 10 yards inside his own half. Shows real intent, though, to find Ali Ahmed on the left-hand side. Ahmed coming much more into the game in the second half. And he finds Mo Toure in the box, but Toure just lets it escape from his control and goes through to the goalkeeper. And you can see from here the grimace on Mo Toure's face, because I think he feels that might have been a chance.
I think if he was slightly fitter, his touch would have been a little bit better and maybe gone in his stride to get a strike on a goal. But just with the substitutions, it just goes to show that I think, well, Philippe Clement will be much the happier of the two managers at the moment. And Roy Hodgson's gone, well, actually, I need to change something, otherwise this game's going to slip away from Bristol.
We can't really tell you what about Philippe Clement's emotional state or how he's looking, because he's not in our stand anymore. 3 subs coming on for Bristol City in a moment. But here comes Paris Magoma, up towards the edge of the penalty area, gets away from Morsey, who I thought might have dragged him back there as he played the pass, but the referee happy with it, cleared away. Clash of heads on halfway, involving Cordoba, who's now waving that he's really urging the physios to come on here. Cordoba, he's laying on his back and he's taken a blow to the face. I think there must be blood, because he himself was calling for the physios to come on. So 1-1, it's been a much more intense start to the second half, much more energy about the game, bit of a chance to take stock with Cordoba getting treatment, and Bristol City about to make 3 changes, Che, and I think that is a little bit of a compliment to Norwich City, isn't it? That it's Roy Hodgson who feels he's got to make the changes at this point, and he's got to make so many of them.
It is, because the second half has been all Norwich City really, and they're rightly, got themselves back into the game, and at the moment they look like the only side that's going to go on and win the game. And Roy Hodgson, with all his experiences, has seen fit to make 3 changes, and to make 3 changes all at the same time is a sign that things aren't going quite well in the red half of Bristol at the moment.
So you're not missing anything while Cordoba is getting treatment. Emil Rees is coming off for Bristol City. And just going to give you an update from the Walks, where Kings Lynn are still 1-0 down in their game against Chorley. That will mean that their survival hopes may well go down to the final day. Mark Sykes and Emil Rees coming off for Bristol City. Sam Bell has come on, a player who spent the first part of the season on loan at Wycombe, scored 6 goals in 21 appearances, then got recalled. They are also taking off Scott Twine, who hasn't been particularly effective in the final third today, and he's being replaced by Tommy Horvat, Slovenian international. He was playing in Austria, so I'll have known the previous manager, Gerhard Struber, from his time in Austria, but he has, of course, since departed. And Horvat comes on, signed in February. The other change, Rees has gone off, and Delano Bergzorg has come on up front, a Dutch striker on loan from Middlesbrough. Hasn't had the desired impact though, only 1 league start. He's not scored in his first 11 games for Bristol City, which means he's not really, fans haven't taken him to their hearts yet. Now Cordoba's still laying on his back, he's getting up. It's going to be okay. He may have lost a tooth or something in there. It's difficult to see, but he was pretty concerned about his own well-being straight away. And he's coming off the field, and I can see Pete the Kitman stood with a spare yellow shirt in his hands, ready to change over. because blood has been spilt for the cause. Canary call after the game and the Canary call watch along. bbc.co.uk/Norfolk with Jay and Rob Butler. And I think those Norwich fans, almost, you look at the sort of collective body language of the fans stood behind that goal, and the chests have puffed out a bit more now, aren't they? There's a bit more pride in what they're seeing from their team in the second half as Cordoba changes his shirt.
Yes, I think they're recognising that Norwich City players have gone in at half-time, and obviously Philippe Clement's done his job and got a real reaction from the players, and they're seeing it in the second half.
A long delay, but the game restarts with McLean hoisting the free kick to the right wing. Here comes Schwartau, and Schwartau has eventually been penalised for committing a foul. Norwich fans don't think it was. The free kick has indeed been given. That was where Norwich's goal came from. McLean with a free kick to Schwartau on the right. His cross dispatched at the second attempt by Mo Toure, who now has 6 goals in 9 appearances for Norwich City. Mo Toure. What a start that's been to a player who arrived in the last transfer window. Cordoba's back on, no number on the back of his yellow shirt now. He's got the emergency blood shirt on. I don't think it'll be too long before there's a Norwich change. One of the subs was in deep conversation with one of Philippe Clement's coaching staff during that last stoppage in play. Strong header won by Harry Darling on halfway. Borges collects 1-1. Plays it towards the halfway line. Lovely touch from Bergzorg, who's just come on, and that might have opened Norwich up. Bristol City on the attack, left-hand side, level with the penalty area. Fisher goes to close it down, but a reverse pass towards Bergzorg. McLean spots the danger, plays it off Bergzorg, and it will be a throw-in. Nearly reached the midway point of the second half. 1-1. It's been a much better performance from Norwich in the second half than the first, though, hasn't it, Jay? For anyone just joining us.
It has. They've gone in at half-time a little bit subdued, lacking a little bit of intensity and energy. 1-0 down from an early goal, and the second half has been very, very different. There's been people running forward, moving the ball quickly, and the evidence is there that, you know, Bristol City have had to make changes to try and nullify the threat of Norwich City at the moment. So it's really promising moving forward. Still
no changes made by Norwich. They've got the 11 players on the pitch who started the game. Jack Stacey's doing quite a good warm-up on the side of the pitch, but look at this from Bristol City. Borges has just gone past 3 Norwich players, and it's ended up with Bristol City attacking on the left-hand side. Played it towards Horvat, who's just come on, but he gets tackled. And the chops clearance from Norwich has fallen to Magoma, who puts a lazy ball forward for Toure to run onto. And the goalkeeper's come out of his penalty area and has played it out looking for a throw-in, but he's given it straight to Schwartau on the right wing. Keeper has managed to get back into his goal. Magoma for Norwich gives it back to Schwartau on the right-hand side. Schwartau slows the game right down, waits for some support to arrive, and when it does, he gives it to Fisher. Now back to Darling, and Bristol City have retreated back behind the ball now. Cordoba, nearly got that one through to Gibbs on the edge of the penalty area, but it's gone through to the goalkeeper, Radek Vitek, who's on loan from Manchester United. 1-1.
I thought when Vitek came out a minute ago and cleared the ball and gave the ball away, I thought Schwartau had a split second to actually hook it back over the goalkeeper into the empty net. I mean, it would have taken a lot of doing and a lot of skill to execute it from there, but I thought it was a split second. Give it a go, why not?
I think, having seen Kenny McLean have a similar opportunity, but from much more in the centre of the pitch, he probably thought better of it. Now Bristol City have released Pring on the left-hand side. Darling across to close him down, does really well, blocks the cross, but goes behind for what is only Bristol City's second corner of the match. Norwich have to bring everybody back now for the first time in a while. Norwich subs, Slimani, Fitzgerald and Stacey all doing the warm-up on the side of the pitch. Jacob Wright was as well a moment ago, but he seems to have sat down. 1-1, Bristol City corner coming in from the left-hand side as they look to try and retake the lead in this game. Everyone back for Norwich. There's the delivery, curling towards the far post, and Randall's arriving, he doesn't beat it quite right, and it stops under his feet really in the penalty area, and Norwich clear. They get it to Ali Ahmed. Again, it didn't quite bring it under control first time. Plays it back to Gibbs, who eventually does clear Norwich's lines, but it's been picked up by Eiler at the back there for Bristol City, who collides with his own teammate in his eagerness to get it forward. Tall centre-back, plays it into the penalty area there, Eiler. Easily blocks, McLean clears. Now there's a counter-attack on for Norwich City. Magoma plays it in behind the Bristol City defence, and Schwartau's onto it. He's got away from Morsey, plays it across, Mo Toure's arriving, and he scores! And Norwich have turned it round, and they lead 2-1. A brilliant break. Schwartau escaped the attentions of Morsey. He was much quicker than Morsey, and he laid it on a plate for Toure. He scored his second goal, and it's been a complete turnaround. Bristol City 1, Norwich City 2.
Well, it broke to Paris Magoma in the middle of the pitch, and Oscar Schwartau, he's made his mind up for Magoma in the fact he's just running behind the Bristol City left back. and he showed his pace and he squared it to Toure, who's following up, and it's a fantastic finish, and it's a cracking goal. It really, really is a team goal. It's just an impetus of energy, you know, moving the ball a bit quicker, moving forward, running over the pitch. When Bristol City got it, real intensity to get the ball back, and they're getting their just rewards and going 2-1 up, and I think it's thoroughly deserved now.
If anyone saw Norwich's last away game when they won at Millwall, they went 2-1 up in that game with a very similar goal, but on that occasion it was Toure who set up Schwartau. Favour returned, and it's worth remembering at this point Sam Morsey, the former Ipswich player, who was very keen to celebrate in front of the Norwich fans when he put Bristol City in front, but not so keen there to be seen as Schwartau just left him in his wake and set up Toure. You have to be careful, don't you, in football?
I think Kenny McLean might have whispered something in his ear as he went off to celebrate that, Kenny McLean, because he sort of gestured as if to say, well, you know, have that, but be a bit careful.
Yes. To quote Alan Partridge, needless to say, Norwich have had the last laugh. Or have they yet? Because there's still 19 minutes left in the game. Header on by Norwich again. Here's Toure, who, having a difficult first half, suddenly finds himself on a hat-trick. Magoma keeps possession, finds Schwartau on the right-hand side. The Mo Toure count, and he's now 7 goals in 9 appearances since signing for Norwich City. Here's Maatsen. Loses the possession there, Maatsen. 3 Bristol City players straight on him. Bergsorg runs forward. Kenny McLean chops him down, and McLean's going to get a yellow card here. Second yellow card of the game. Both going to Norwich players. Toure, the other one, for that dive in the first half, in the second half. Well, how this game has turned. Half-time, we were a little bit down on Norwich, and they'd not played up to their usual standards. And I think that assessment's been justified, because suddenly when you see what they can do, it just highlights how poor the first half was.
Well, that's right. I mean, so you set your own standards, and you know they're capable of it. And they've raised the bar this season, and they've shown what they're capable of. So every time that they don't, reach that standard, people are going to ask questions, and rightly so.
2-1 Norwich lead, looking for their 10th away league win of the season. Morsey, what's the score? Norwich fans are now singing. They don't forget, do they, football?
No, they don't. Just going back to Toure's goal record, Chris, you were just saying it'd be really interesting to see what he's like when he has a really good pre-season under his belt. You know, he's firing on all cylinders. Really good pre-season with the squad, and gets back at the beginning of next season. And did you say 7 in 9?
Yeah, I'm just trying to do a little bit of maths on the fly here. That's 6 goals in the Championship in 268 minutes, I think, on the pitch. No, 368 minutes, sorry. 368 minutes on the pitch in the Championship, 6 goals. Ali Ahmed, he might get another hat-trick.
I was going to say, there's no reason why he can't
here comes Gibbs on the left-hand side, crosses it into the penalty area, and it's cleared behind by a Bristol City defence who are suddenly stretched. He might not get a hat-trick because Matthias Kviskaren is getting stripped and ready. And he's just come back from injury. We'd love him to get a hat-trick, but you can sort of understand, can't you, now? He's just come back from an injury. He's scored twice. You can see he's blowing a bit now. 2 more games to come this week. Maybe it is time to wrap him in cotton wool.
Yes, I mean, there's plenty more football to be played by Mohamed Toure over the next, obviously the remainder of this season, and then moving forward into next season. So yeah, it might be wise to rest the legs and
a World Cup potentially as well. Short corner taken by Norwich. Magoma, left-hand side, tries to find a way to get it to Ali Ahmed, but it's blocked. Norwich retreat a little bit, but keep possession. Schwartau involved in both goals, so making 2 assists from Schwartau in this game. Oh, lovely from Magoma. Skips away from his man through the middle. He's 25 yards out. Magoma, he's going to hit one now. It's deflected, and it's gone in, and it hit Toure. That could be his hat-trick. Mo Toure celebrates. He's certainly claiming it. He has scored his 2nd Norwich City hat-trick of the season, and he's being mobbed by his teammates. He's being mobbed by Paris Magoma now, who spreads his arms out as if to say, go on then, you have it, because Magoma lined it up, 25 yards out, caught it nicely. It's hit Toure and gone in. That is a hat-trick from Mo Toure, another one, and it is Bristol City 1, Norwich City 3.
Probably the most fortunate one he'll score for Norwich City, I should imagine, but Paris Magoma is, once he's burst into that central area, there's only one thing he's going to do is strike the ball at goal, and it's hit Toure. It's wrong-footed the goalkeeper, and it's 3-1 Norwich, and I have to say, well deserved on this showing in the second half so far.
You know when they say a striker sometimes just needs one to go in off his backside? I haven't seen a replay, but I think that's what might have just happened.
Certainly in that area. I think certainly in that area. And now he can probably get subbed off, have it, get the plaudits for a hat-trick and get his rest. So yeah, fair play to him.
Right, more maths coming up, Shay, bear with me. 7 championship goals in 370 minutes.
That's good going.
Mad, isn't it?
Very good going.
8 goals in total. Only signed in January. And I'll be honest, I would have... Norwich are going to try and win the ball back here with McLean. And Mo Touré is chasing it into the penalty area again. On his first half performance today, Mo Touré didn't look like he had a hat-trick in him. But he's just pulled up here on the edge of the box, which is a concern. But the way he has taken the chances in this second half, really, it's what it's about. He's got cramps, so it's okay. But in the first half, I will say in his defence, he didn't have chances created for him. In the second half, he's had 2 tap-ins and a deflection.
Yeah.
But that's what you need your striker to do.
Well, that's right. He hasn't really created anything for himself, but you know, you've got to be in a position to score goals like that, and he's been fantastic. And I was just watching him then. The ball went back to the goalkeeper, and he sort of half-heartedly went to close it down. And the next thing I've turned around and he's sitting on the floor, and I thought, oh, it's got to be cramp, because he looked very, very tired when he went to close the goalkeeper down. And he's rightfully getting some plaudits, and he'll get his well-earned rest.
Magoma is being replaced by Slimani. And I wouldn't be at all surprised. Yeah, there we go. Number 37, Mo Touré, who is becoming a Norwich City cult hero. He's helped himself to a second half hat-trick. There were 23 minutes between his first goal and his third goal. And he is replaced by Mateusz Kwiatkowski, who will come on to help Norwich see this one out. But what a different second half it's been from Norwich City. What a sensation from Touré. Bristol City are going to send on a striker as well. They're going to send on Sinclair Armstrong. I think both coming off at the same time. Paris Magoma has now got a chance to really tell Mohamed Touré what he... Mohamed Touré has got to sit as far away as possible from Paris Magoma on the dugout. And now cheers from the Norwich fans, who are waving cheerio to Sam Morsy, who has had plenty to say to the Norwich fans today. He scored a goal, the former Ipswich man, but he is now replaced by Sinclair Armstrong with his team 3-1 down and only 13 minutes to go.
Well, that might show a little bit more attacking intent, because Sinclair Armstrong, I think, will play a little bit higher up the pitch than Sam Morsy. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Bristol City do from here on in.
Yeah. Free kick Norwich, left hand side, played in by Kenny McLean. Cordoba's header, it's in, it's 4 for Norwich City. They've scored 4 goals in half an hour, and it was a long free kick from Kenny McLean beyond the Bristol City defence. Cordoba comes round the back, heads in his first goal of the season. Roy Hodgson and Bristol City, they don't know what's hit them, and it is Bristol City 1, Norwich City 4.
Well, Philippe Clement has certainly earned his money, you know, not being able to be on the touchline. He's obviously had some strong words at half-time from a really sort of dire first half performance, or certainly, you know, left a lot to be desired. Coming out second half and they've scored 4 goals in the second half. I mean, Bristol City, I don't think they know what's hit them. Norwich have showed so much more energy. They'll be really disappointed with this goal. It's almost a free header for Jose Corboda at the far post. And yeah, you know, certainly Bristol City have got a lot of work to do to get themselves back into this game.
12 minutes to go, 4-1 to Norwich City. And I will say it again, you would not have seen this coming at half-time.
No, definitely not. I mean, I was a little bit surprised that he didn't make any changes at half-time, but it's credit to him. He's gone, well, actually, you guys have been, you know, pretty poor in the first half. It's down to you now to go and change it round, and credit to them. Every single one of them has.
And now, Bristol City look absolutely shell-shocked. Here's Gibbs, slips over. Ahmed can't keep it in play. Throw in to Bristol City. Get your calls in. Canary call after this game. Sinclair Armstrong on for Bristol City just before that 4th Norwich goal. Armstrong, a player, we talk about Mo Touré's championship goal scoring record. Sinclair Armstrong for QPR and Bristol City, 136 championship appearances, 10 goals. He's a striker who puts himself about, very physical. The criticism often levelled at him is that he doesn't have the end product, but he's on there now to try and to somehow give this Norwich defence something different to think about. But they're 4-1 up away from home. Remember, they were 1-0 down at half-time, and here we are, 10 minutes to go, and they've got 4 goals, Norwich. This has been like sort of their season played over 90 minutes, hasn't it? Pretty poor in the first part of it, and you didn't really know where anything was coming from. And then they've absolutely raced away with it after the halfway point.
Well, there's more a sort of a mini reaction as soon as Bristol City scored in the first half. Norwich City had a little bit of the play, and then they died off a little bit, and Bristol City were quite comfortable in the remainder of that first half. The second half has been all Norwich City, and Bristol City don't really know what's hit them.
Slip from Randall in the Bristol City midfield. Gets it to Knight, who plays it forward. Knight is offside there against Bristol City. Referee could have played advantage because McLean was in possession. Hull 1, Birmingham 1. So Hull, probably the team that's most vulnerable in the playoff places, possibly slipping up. They would only have a 2-point advantage over Wrexham. They would have a 8-point advantage over Norwich with 3 games to go. So mathematically, it would still be on. But let's not think too much about it. Let's just enjoy what we're seeing here. 4-1 up Norwich City, 10 minutes to go. 2 more substitutions coming. And here's Harry Darling playing it forward for Norwich City. Fitzgerald now on as a sub, chasing it into the penalty area and getting there in the penalty area and setting up Slimani. Is this going to be a 5th for Norwich? Keeper saves it. Great eagerness, and you can see now, can't you? Everybody just wants to get involved. Fitzgerald chasing that ball forward.
Oh, they're full of confidence, breaking into the box, and I think Slimani will be a little bit disappointed that his touch didn't quite get out his feet, and he almost had to hook the shot back in, and it was quite weak contained in the end. But another promising bit of play from Norwich.
Sinclair Armstrong did once score a goal against Kings Lynn Town. He was on loan at Torquay from QPR earlier in his career. He scored against the Linnets in the National League. The Linnets now are desperately hanging on to their place in National North. They're 1-0 down at home to Chorley, and I can tell you Lynn are down to 10 men. They've had Ross Crane sent off. So their survival hopes look like they are going to go down to the final day of the season, next Saturday in National North. No such worries for Norwich City, who are 4-1 up here at Bristol City. Here's Bell, who came in as a sub for Bristol City, can't keep it in play, throw in. I'm just thinking about people who maybe were able to listen to the first half, Jay, then had to go disappear and do something for half an hour, and are just rejoining us. And it's gone from 1-0 to Bristol City to 4-1 to Norwich in that time. Ali Ahmed is having the rest of the afternoon off. Errol Mundle-Smith is coming on. And Michael Forson is going to replace possibly Schwartau. Will it be one of the midfielders? Let's see. It is Schwartau who is coming up. And Schwartau set up the first 2 Norwich goals. Let's not underestimate his contribution today, Oscar Schwartau, because his cross was dispatched at the second attempt by Toure for the first goal, and the second goal, that wonderful break where Schwartau got away, latched onto Magoma's pass and knotted across for the tap-in.
Yes, I think he was a bit ineffective first half, but second half Oscar Schwartau has certainly shown his quality, particularly with the break in behind and the ball from Paris Magoma that found him. And at first, when he didn't shoot, I thought, what's he doing? And he squared the ball to Toure, and his vision was fantastic. And he had to get that pass perfectly spot on, otherwise the Bristol City defender would have cleared it. So Oscar Schwartau has had certainly a good second half today.
And just to put his form into context, Norwich have just brought on Errol Mundle-Smith, who is seen as the kind of young player in the squad. He's older than Oscar Schwartau. Schwartau, he's been part of the Norwich first team for the last couple of seasons. You forget he's still only 19.
It's probably, being honest, first half I'm probably not doing him much of a service in the fact that I was expecting a little bit more of him, but I did forget how young he is. So he's still fresh-faced, still very young, and it's certainly on the second half showing he's still got a lot of promising future ahead of him.
It's his 80th appearance for Norwich today. Here's Bell on the left-hand side for Bristol City, playing it into the box. Horvat is there, but it's going to dribble behind for a goal kick. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm doing down Josh Sargent here, because he was a terrific player for Norwich City. But if you want to put Mo Toure's start into contrast, Mo Toure's now got 2 Norwich hat-tricks in his first 9 appearances. I don't think Sargent scored a hat-trick for Norwich in his time with the club. So that is, I mean, that's why you can say that Toure's got 3 tap-ins today, or 2 tap-ins and a deflection. But hat-tricks don't come along every day. You've got to be there as a striker, haven't you?
You do, and I mean, as we sort of said, he hasn't created any of those goals himself today, but he's been in the right spot at the right time. And I mean, obviously Josh Sargent is a very, very different player from Mo Toure, and the fact that he's probably link-up players a lot better. His physicality, and you get those elements from Josh Sargent. But ultimately, strikers are usually judged on sticking the ball in the net, and Mo Toure has certainly got a good record at Norwich City so far.
Canary call after the game. Get in touch with Jay Wilson and Rob Butler. You can watch it, bbc.co.uk/Norfolk. trouble for Philippe Clement is this second half has been a good advert for him not being on the side of the pitch, hasn't it? But I won't suggest that to him after the game when we speak. West Brom are taking it. Oh, hang on, just come back to that in a moment. Norwich just giving the ball away. And Kellen Fisher fouls Bergsorg, but Bristol City take the free kick quickly. They've got Bell in the penalty area here. Fisher trying to get back and make the challenge. Bell sent out to the left of the penalty area by the persistence of Kellen Fisher. Plays the ball back now towards Pring, who sidesteps Forson. Crosses the ball into the box. Sinclair Armstrong chests it down. Shot comes in from the edge of the box from Horvath. Good dramatic save from Kovacic as he tumbles towards his right-hand side. West Brom have just gone 2 up at Preston, and because Leicester and Oxford both lost in the early games today, that really is a huge result for West Brom. If they can hold on to that, they're going to be taking a big step towards Championship survival today. Norwich, remember, played at West Brom in January and got 5 away from home, and they're looking to do the same today. Kviskaren couldn't keep that ball in play. He's bringing it along the left wing, but he had overrun it, and it's going to be a change for Bristol City here, who are pretty stunned by what's happened to them in this second half. George Tanner is going to replace Ross McCrory at fullback. Canary Court after the game took calls in for Che Wilson and for Rob Butler to reflect on what will be Norwich's 10th away win of the season, Che. I haven't had a chance to look this up, but I must do it. I don't know how many seasons in recent history Norwich have taken more points away from home than at home, but I think they're going to this season.
Well, it's a fantastic record, and if you can get your home fixtures right, then if you've got an away record like that, you've got every chance in this championship.
Again, context is key. Last season, Norwich won 4 away games. The whole of last season, they've won 10.
So they're improving on that front.
Yeah, just a bit. They've won 10 this season. This is the 10th in the league. And they had the 5th best away record in the championship coming into this game. Bristol City in possession. Tanner on the right-hand side plays the ball in behind Gibbs, but Gibbs will make sure it's not behind him for long. It goes down there, Gibbs. No foul. Horvath finds Sinclair Armstrong in the penalty. Played across on, blazed over by Bergsorg. Glorious chance for Bristol City to get one back and get his first for the club, but he's blazed over a glorious chance there. And now we've got Liam Gibbs and Jose Cordoba arguing with the assistant about why a free kick wasn't given. Should be 4-2, shouldn't it?
Yeah, certainly. He'll be really disappointed with that finish, and I can see Liam Gibbs gesticulating to the linesman. He did get a little push. He went over soft, but you see it so many times where defenders are in trouble and they get a little nudge and they go over and referees give it, and I think that's why Liam Gibbs is a little bit disappointed, because 99 times out of 100 he's given that as a free kick.
The old Grant Hanley trick of yes. Any time someone was breathing down your neck, down you go.
Well, I remember seeing him play at Oxford, actually, Grant Hanley, and he went down like that, and the referee didn't give it, and I think it cost him a goal, and I think Norwich lost 2-0 that day.
That was almost his last appearance for Norwich, one of the last ones, yeah, in Johannes Torrent's first game. We've watched a lot of football since then. It's amazing, isn't it, what we've seen? That was only the first day of last season, and here we are now with Norwich 4-1 up at Bristol City under Philippe Clement with 2 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. And there'll be some jubilant scenes in a moment when Norwich go and celebrate with their supporters. I almost think the moment of this match that I think I'll reflect on was when the equaliser, the 1-1, and Norwich got the ball out of the net and took it back to the halfway line. I thought that really set the tone for what they wanted to be all about in this second half.
I thought maybe that was something they'd spoken about at half-time, because you sometimes usually get half the teams go and celebrate and defenders want to retreat and recover and get back to their positions, but everyone seemed to be on the same wavelength and they might have discussed it. Well, when we get a goal, our intent is to go and get another one, so get back in and we'll go again. And it'll be interesting to see from Philippe Clement if he's seen, having to watch the game from up on high, is it enabling to see things that he wouldn't normally see at pitch level? So it'll be interesting to see his feedback from that.
Still Kings Lynn, who down to 10 men 0, Chorley 1 at the Walks. Kings Lynn's hopes of staying in National North looks like may well go down to the final day of the season. We'll be with Nick Bowler in a moment. 4-1 to Norwich at Bristol City. We're going to bring on Jacob Wright in a moment. We've only got just stoppage time really for that to happen, because we're in the 90th minute. Cordoba, who just got his first goal of the season today, picks the ball up inside his own half and plays it back to goalkeeper Kovacic. We want 5, say the Norwich fans. They always want more, these football fans, don't they, Che? Norwich have possession.
I think they'll be satisfied with just the 4 today.
Yeah, if it finishes like that, no one's going to be complaining, and nobody probably would have guessed it at half-time. But you made mention of the atmosphere in the first half, and it's emptying pretty quickly now, isn't it, Ashton Gate? Lots of the home fans have seen enough. Gibbs plays the ball up towards Kviskaren, who really does show well there to get it off the defender. It's played into the channel for Mundell Smith. to latch onto. He's level with the Bristol City penalty area, brings it into the box now. Errol Mundle-Smith. Oh, he wins a corner there off George Tanner. And these officials today, Jay, they are absolute gluttons for punishment. They are showing no sympathy to Bristol City. It's 4-1, and they've just signalled 7 minutes of stoppage time.
I'm not sure where that's all come from, but I know Jose Corbodo had an injury earlier on, but I'm not sure it was 7 minutes. There's probably been some other instances, but just going back, Chris, the Bristol City fans, they've not seen anything second half to suggest that Bristol City would get back in the game, so I can understand their frustration. But Norwich City have been well worth their 4-1 win if you look at the game as an overall context today.
Kenny McLean saluting the Norwich fans. He's being replaced by Jacob Wright for stoppage time. They'll hand out the Norwich City Player of the Year award in the next week. He's got to be the favourite for Kenny McLean. Difficult to think of anybody else who's been more consistent this season for Norwich City.
Well, he just wants to do things, and I mean, when Norwich City went 1-0 down, he was so willing to get on the ball, and at times he probably tried a little bit too hard and got caught in possession, but you can see he just wants to make an impact, and it's so valuable for you. He's certainly never going to hide. He's always going to show courage and receive the ball in difficult areas. And
Jacob Wright's corner played in, half cleared by Bristol City, but Harry Darling's worked it back to Liam Gibbs. Gibbs turns, it's Callum Fisher in space behind him. Fisher will look for Gibbs on the left-hand side and finds him, level with the Bristol City penalty area. Now here's Forson. Good cross from Forson. It's headed goalwards and just wide from Cordoba, who's already scored once, not far off there. Right, with this ball behind for a goal kick, let's take you quickly back to the Walks. It really is business time at the Walks. Kings Lynn, they need to find something against Chorley. What's happening, Nick Bowler?
Well, midway through, 5 minutes of time added on. They're still trailing by a goal to nil as Martin Woods, the man of the match for Kings Lynn Town, pumps a ball into the penalty area, but it's not working for Lynn at all. They trail because of that 42nd minute goal from Mike Calverley. Poor defending from Lynn when a ball was drifted over, and he was free to glance ahead at home. Lynn have put pressure on. They've certainly put fresh legs on there, which has made a difference. And one of those, Adam Marrett, drills it across the face. Oh, snap! Oh, Kings Lynn Town! Drills the ball in from the left, and Ubazuruno at the far post slams it home. Could that be the all-important point? Hereford Ultra might be winning, but that could well be a lifesaver for Kings Lynn Town. And who knows, he might be able to pull another one back. Kings Lynn Town 1, Chorley 1.
Big goal there, and we've had a goal at Ashton Gate as well while you were listening to that. Bristol City have got a consolation. They broke away, the ball played in from the right-hand side to Sam Bell, and he was able to almost walk it in really from the edge of the 6-yard box. Bergzorg in the build-up has taken a bit of a blow. He's down in the penalty area. It's 4-2. I don't think that'll take too much of the gloss off this, will it, Jay? But football managers never like to give away goals.
I think the manager will be a bit frustrated that they've conceded. It was a soft goal, but I know Liam Gibbs and Jose Corbodo were speaking to the referee about possible handball in there, and it looked a little bit scruffy. They'll be disappointed that they've conceded so late on. Takes a little bit of the gloss off of it, but they'll be really, really happy with their day's work today.
So we're bringing you news of that really important goal for Kings Lynn, who could be relegated from National North. They've just got one back, 1-1 against Chorley very late in the game. Here at Ashton Gate, it's Bristol City 2, Norwich City 4. Sam Bell with the goal that really wasn't celebrated at all by the home supporters, because they know they've been well and truly done by Norwich City in this second half in particular, where Norwich have scored 4 goals since the interval. 7 minutes of stoppage time was signalled. We are into that now, or well into that now. We've had 4 minutes of it now. Jacob Wright plays the ball forward for Norwich City. Mundle-Smith chasing it, trying to put Bristol City immediately under pressure. Header from right. Cordoba nods it further forward. Slimani battling with Quisgaran and helping Quisgaran on the edge of the penalty area. And now here's Mundle-Smith, who drives towards the Bristol City box, tries to stroke it in, gets tackled on the left-hand side, and does a good job there, Mundle-Smith, of making it difficult for Bristol City to clear, but it has gone behind off the Norwich winger for a goal kick. Bristol City 2, Norwich City 4. We'll bring you full time from the Walks very, very shortly, where that goal for Kings Lynn could make such a difference. And they're down to 10 men as well. As they look to try and stay in the National League. For Norwich, it's just about making sure there aren't any more alarms here. 4-2. We've still got a couple of minutes of the stoppage time to go. Badek Vitek's goal kick has drifted out of play for a throw-in. And Bell, who has got his second goal of the season for Bristol City, loaned out at the start of the season to Wickham and did really well in League One. And Bristol City saw enough to recall him. Hasn't really got into the team though, but he's just given Roy Hodgson a little reminder of what he's capable of with that goal there so late in the piece. 4-2 Norwich lead. Mundell Smith can't keep the ball in play. It's a throw-in on the right-hand side. It has finished at the Walks, and it is 1-1 between Kings Lynn and Shoreham. So we brought you that live equaliser for Kings Lynn Town. Big goal as well. It'll probably go down to the final day of the season for Lynn though, depending on results elsewhere. It moves them 2 points clear of the relegation places. They've got one game to go, but there are teams below them who have games in hand. So Nick will set that out exactly for you in a little while during Canary Call. For the 97th minute of this one in Ashton Gate, Bristol City 2, Norwich City 4. A Mo Touré hat-trick for Norwich City. Played forward by Bristol City, cut out by Norwich City. Have they got the energy for another counter-attack? Lots of substitutes on now, so they should have. And Forson has found Mundell Smith on the left-hand side. Mundell Smith taking the game to Bristol City. He heads towards the corner flag here, action gets stripped. And it's a free kick to Norwich, left edge of the penalty area. Tanner taking out some of his frustration on this performance, and down he goes. So the two teams immediately in the relegation zone in National North are both winning, or have both won today, Alfreton and Hereford. So that will mean that it will go down to the last day for Lynn, but they've put an extra point between themselves and the bottom four. Four go down from National North. For Norwich City, playoffs remain a mathematical possibility, but a distant one. They're going to win this game. They're 4-2 up. We've played the 97 minutes, and it's a free kick on the left wing, which Jacob Wright will get ready to take for Norwich. Harry Darling's coming up for the back late on. Trying to see if he can get his second goal of the season. Wright, one of the substitutes that's come on in this second half, will curl the ball towards goal, but it's gone over the top. And there's a bit of a waste, but it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things, because Norwich are going to get their 10th away win of the season in the league. It will mean that they'll have 61 points, 35 of those 61 claimed on the road this season. Let's not forget that the points that Liam Manning won as Norwich City head coach were all away from home. Referee continues to play, nearly 98 minutes. We have had a goal in the stoppage time. Mundell Smith just gets enough on that to Fiskaren. He's hungry to get to the ball ahead of Isla, but Isla tackled him and goes out of play for a throw-in. There'll be 5 wins in 8 games for Norwich City. The referee's just put his whistle in his mouth, and that's going to be it for Norwich. And what a second half. 4 goals Norwich City scored between the 52nd minute and the 78th. 3 of them from Mohamed Touré, 1 from Jose Cordova with his first of the season. But it was a stellar second half performance. Really, it was a game that said a lot about Norwich City this season, that the difference between Norwich City at their worst and at their best is huge. And when Norwich City are at their best, there aren't many teams in the Championship that can live with them, as their form since the turn of the year has shown. They blew Bristol City away in that second half. They were 1-0 down after a poor first half performance. Sam Morsey firing Bristol City into an early lead, but in the second half, Mo Touré scored at the second attempt after his header from Schwartau's cross was saved. Touré then tapped in after a brilliant break from Norwich City when Schwartau set him up, and Touré's hat-trick was a deflection on a shot from Paris Magoma, but he's got this wonderful habit of being the right place and the right man at the right time. Mo Touré, 4-1 on 78 minutes when Jose Cordova headed home Kenny McLean's free kick, and even though Sam Bell pulled one back in stoppage time, scant consolation for Bristol City, who've been blown away by Norwich in that second half.